Today we're taking out the turbos to do jiffy tights and cooler lines on a 2017 Expedition. Take off all of our induction tubing, hoses, whatever the hell you want to call it. Oh yeah, watch out for the vacuum hoses that go onto the induction tubing. They break, these are kind of expensive, so yeah, keep an eye out for that. If it's your first time, it can kind of be a little irritating. Then we're going to take off these pesky little fender skirts. Liners, whatever the hell you want to call them. That way you can gain access to your turbos. That guy. Go ahead and take off your skid plates. While you're down here, go ahead and take off your exhaust bolts, or at least the nuts off the studs that go to the turbocharger from the catalytic converters. The one on top on the driver's side can be kind of a little bit of a punk. Go at it with a long ratcheting wrench with a flex head, and you usually guide it from the outside wheel well. Now that we're all caught up, we can get a little more in depth. So now that we have everything out of the way, see where our turbo's leaking right there. Got all the air hoses off. Go ahead and plop your vacuum hoses off. Let's go ahead and disconnect our driver's side E-clip. If you have an abundance of these, just don't worry about it like usual. The outer one. Let's go ahead and get the passenger side inner one while we're down here. That's right. Go ahead and take your clip off and on to the next step. If you don't have the battery disconnected, careful of that starter. And find that out the hard way this time. Next we're going to pop these guys out. Third time's a charm. There we go. Screw that clip. Now the driver's side. Yay! And don't forget those air hose too, or vacuum hose, whatever you want to call it. Plop. Come on. Yes. Do you need to take the starter out? Probably not, but we're going to. Make sure we disconnect our battery. No making fun of my old ass drill. Let's go ahead and get both sides off. And why are we taking off the starter? Just to keep things from draining on it. You don't want all that. Let's go ahead and take off the power. Take off our signal wire. Yay. Alright, take off this bracket that's got the transmission hoses hooked up to the back end of the starter bolt. Not gonna let you watch all of that. I'm not gonna force you to. Bloop. Just take that and move it back. Awesome. Next, we're going to take the mounting bolts off. Yay. Just pulling out to the front. But now we have nothing to leak on us. Well, that's about to actually drip on me. But nothing to leak on, there it went. Nothing to leak on the starter. Whenever you pull those two torques out. Speaking of which, go ahead and drain your coolant first. In the bucket. Go ahead and take off your quote-unquote radiator cap to let it drain a little faster. Yay, messy, 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 messy. And before you clean up your mess, go ahead and pop the other side loose. Just saying, save yourself some time. After it's done draining for the most part, just go ahead and plug them back in to keep it from dripping all over your head. Next, we're going to go ahead and take this T45 and take the oil flanges loose. Yeah, don't stand underneath it. This is just oil. No more coolant, just oil. Yay. And we've already popped them loose, but it's a T50 to get the 3 torques. Let's go ahead and run them out. That should get our turbo loose. And since we're replacing all the lines on this, like you should be anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and bend that out of the way a little bit. Gonna give you a little bit of room. Take that thing out from the top. It takes a little bit of clockwise and counterclockwise wiggling to get it off that hose in the back, or pipe. But once it's finally loose, you can kind of just wiggle it up through this way and out through the top. Also, with a little finesse, you can get it through that hole as well. Spool the turbo. Everyone's got to do it at once. On to the driver's side. Do some more wiggling to get it off that pipe. Go ahead and uninstall your O2 sensor with your trusty 7/8 of choice. Just spin it around and pull it out there next to the catalytic converter. Go ahead and take off this T40 on the driver's side. And since there's no actual clip holding this on, you can just kind of work it out of there. Yay! Go ahead and take off the coupler with the 21 mil. There's 3 different ones. There's 4 for the turbo, 1 for the back of the block, and 1 for the front of the block. It's gonna be a little too tight to actually get my hand up there and show you guys, but there it is on the back of the block on the driver's side. You know, look up between the transmission and the exhaust pipe. Stick your pick in there, get it out. Y'all know the drill. And once you spend like 5 minutes trying to pick that clip out, just kind of wiggle it back and forth, up and down, until it finally pops out. And that right there is why you cannot use a line disconnect tool on that. It's just like flush up against there. Then you should be able to just stick your flex head ratcheting wrench up in there and get that coupler off. These two are a lot easier. Three down. And 4. Yep, that happens. On this particular model, the AC compressor has to come down. Stretch belt. Now that that's out of the way, we can take the other 240 out. Once again, no clips, so pops right out. Get your 21, get that guy off of there. So on older models, this plate's usually not here. Let's go ahead and take it off. There's 2 tins back there. Follow your coolant line all the way to your coupler, which you can see in the mirror there. Take the clip out with the pick and pull out your line, pull out your coupler, and proceed to the next step. You're gonna spend quite some time right here. Once you get the clip out, just wiggle it up and down, back and forth. Yeah, that's why you can't put a tool in there. Now you just have to get the coupler out, and I believe it's a 19mm. Alright, got that guy out. That's 7. Yay. Now we just gotta reverse the process. Remember, the one on the side of the block is gonna be a 21. The ones on the turbos are gonna have the least amount of threads, and the one in the back of the head is gonna have the most threads, but these 3 are all 19. All new Ford parts, yay! Go ahead and get all your couplers. There's your part numbers. Go ahead and get that gasket. Go ahead and replace these gaskets. Get all your lines. And you're ready to go. Go ahead and tighten them all down to about 18 Newton meters. 13.5 foot-pounds-ish. Stab your line into the block on the driver's side. Remember, you're not going to hear a snap on this one because, well, there's no place for it to snap onto. And then put your Torx in. Go ahead and do the same thing for the passenger side. Go ahead and stab your turbo on the passenger side. Make sure you stab it onto that Jiffy Tight connector, and make sure you hear that click. Don't know if you know about hot bolt paste, but it's made by Volkswagen. You can only get it at Volkswagen. But whenever you're doing exhaust work, a little dab will do you on the threads of whatever you're doing. They call it hot bolt paste for a reason. It's metal, it gets hot. But once you start using this, you'll never stop, and it only takes a little bit. This tube will last you years. If you have it, just go ahead and put some on there and run them in, tighten them down. Go ahead and plug in the other line into the rear of the head first before you plug it into the turbo. But let's go ahead and put that plate back on first. Now that it's in the back, go ahead and install it here. Make sure you hear the click. And let's go ahead and just put this vacuum hose on while we're here. Yeah. Just repeat that process for the other side. Go ahead and install your AC compressor if you had to uninstall it. Put in your gasket for the oil, send and return. Do it with the tab facing down and you should be okay. Well, you get the idea. Go ahead and tighten up your exhaust flange. Hook your exhaust back up to the back end of the turbo. Reconnect your driver's side O2 sensor. Hook up your driver's side tubing. Next, install your passenger side along with the vacuum lines that go to each one. Be real careful about those. They break, those are expensive. Next, install your engine cover, your Y pipe, and your air box. And make sure you plug that in. You don't want to check engine light whenever you start it up. Install your starter. Next, go ahead and install your skid plate. Reinstall your fender wells. Put on your wheels. Reattach your battery terminals. Fill up your cooling system. And start her up. No lights. Good deal. Well, it's running real smooth. Turbos are spooling up nice. It's up to operating temperature. Just take it back to the shop and make sure we're still not leaking, and you're done. If this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, toss me a like. I'd appreciate it. Maybe we can get some more content out there. Good luck.